Yeah, is it just one Raven each? It's 2 Ravens for Euthermal, so it's a little bit of a Raven advantage from Euthermal here. Expect those auto turrets to come into play. Euthermal is going to play mech, so he's going to play mech, but not Cyclone mech. He's just going to play more traditional, like, you know, straight to tanks, Vikings, etc. Okay, so it's going to be just a bit different style of the mech play. Not messing around with Cyclones too much at all. Really taking air control early as well. As we're going to see Euthermal trying to take this left side base. Now, we saw in Euthermal versus Clem on this map, this left side base can be hard to hold because it really is a bit out of position from this base down here. I guess you don't want to take this base because you're afraid of the drop potential down this left side. And this drop already from Kira is going to show us just why. I mean, it's still just such a good drop in position no matter what. Is he going to turn away? What? Wow, I am actually shocked. He turns away. And then he comes back because he scans and realizes nothing is here. Yeah, I mean, he just lost a little bit of opportunity there. I mean, the Ravens will come in. They will clean this up with auto turrets, I think. So maybe turning away wasn't actually such a bad call in the first place. He loses a siege tank here, Euthermal, but obviously he's going to take down to a couple workers lost. Yeah, 4 workers. If these couple of Marines get cleaned up without too much further issue, then really not such a bad scenario. Euthermal actually killing off quite a lot, all things considered. There's a bit more Marine tank coming into the center of the map here as well. And still just seeing this army now picking their way through the rocks in the center. So picking off these rocks at the moment. 1-1 upgrades coming through. Combat shields setting up from Kira as well. There are Cyclones coming in again, getting a lock on, and will pick off a Raven. So Raven does go down. So Raven gets killed off very, very early in the game. As now we're just going to be seeing this tank to the left-hand side getting set up as well. A couple of tanks over there. And still just seeing, I mean, already a tank firing away. Kira just staying on the offensive, which against the mech play you kind of want to do, but you just want to not lose too much as well, because if you start losing a bit too much army, that's where Euthermal is going to have a very good time actually pushing across the map and making the most of his, you know, very powerful mech army, because you'll be able to get it into position. And if that happens, it's very hard to deal with at that point on. Couple tanks are in siege again. Still Vikings and the Raven in the center of it all right now. Marines just chasing down a barracks from Euthermal that was floating forwards for a good long while. A few more Hellions out around to the top as we do see the extra factories that got built just before the barracks went down. Elsewhere on the map, I mean, Kira's just bailing. Blah, blah, blah. Can't speak. Kira's just setting up. He's going to have a defense against this Hellion run by, so that shouldn't do too much. Not Blue Flame yet. Taking on a little while to get some of these final shots off. Felt like some of those Hellions were going to die for ages there. So yeah, Kira's just kind of setting up on the map. Takes a 4th base into position already. It's exactly what you can do in a Fortis bio. You know, you're more mobile. You're much more kind of spread out. You're on the map. You're active. So expanding faster is one of those big tick boxes you want to check off when playing against a mech player. Also because the mech player is also going to be somebody who is, you know, not only not able to deny those bases, but also trading better. So you actually need those bases a little bit faster, because you're going to want to trade and trade and trade. And Kira, he's building a few Vikings, so he might not just look purely for the pure trades. He might build up into an air army. But when he played against INnoVation last week, he's played a lot of just massing up bio units and just keeping on fighting, rather than tacking up and slowly finding a way to out macro the kind of the mech player. He wants to just take a lot of, you know, smaller fights and just keep that going, which is not a style that's easy to pull off with the mech or with the bio against mech. As this Liberator gets shut down, Kira does not take damage over here. There's a few Hellions chasing in. These few Marines will spread. 2 more starports dropping down from Kira in the main base, as well as we have an army on the left side as well. Missile turret gets picked off. Tanks will fire, and a couple of depots going to be in some trouble. Fresh CC gets picked off, and it's not really a major issue. It's just a CC that's there for some extra muling, etc. As Euthermal's actually going to push Kira back away over the right-hand side, so Kira will not do much over on the right. These couple of tanks continue to fight, and there goes the depot. And, I mean, he can reach the orbital. I'm surprised he doesn't go. I guess maybe he actually can't reach the sensor tower based on where the tank is. Yeah, Kira losing a couple units over here as he just, again, continues to build up. He really is going into quite a Viking count, so he wants to fight in the sky. Fight in the sky, fight in the skies. And if he fights in the skies and he can take air control, obviously then Liberators, etc. become very important. And we might see Euthermal starting to add in Thors to help out. But now Uthermal, because he chased this army away, has been able to get across the map, and it's exactly what we said Kua needs to not let happen. Uthermal's army getting into position, and that's, you know, now really problematic. These Vikings are going to win out this fight as well, so Uthermal wins the air fight. Kua just didn't have enough just yet. And now Uthermal's in a really prime spot. He's going to kill some more SCVs that are rallying around. He's denied a base from being mined from. And he's got the units at home to realistically defend if Kua's trying to backstab him, which, well, you know, a few of these units are set there already. I don't think it's enough to realistically do much. Uthermal actually takes his army out onto the map as well. Might want to go and try and deny this base already. And that would not be a bad call either, as he still has a couple units at home to defend. Not too much, but there's also not too much here from Kua either, right? Like, it's not that big an army. And Kua, he's going to be so out of position for this. I mean, this base dies, no doubt about it, because, you know, you've got tanks that are going to fire it. If you come up this way to fight it, well, there's tanks here as well. Uthermal just lands the Vikings over here too. This planetary is going to go down. The Buyer will try and fight after the tanks have fired in towards the planetary one more time. I don't think Kua has enough at all. His supply is plummeting, as Uthermal will get the GG, and Uthermal will take game 1 of our best of 7. So Uthermal takes the first game of the grand finals. Putting up a fight here against Kua. Thank you very much to Skaven Inaz. Or Skaven Inaz coming in with the 200 bits as well during the end of the game. Thank you so much, much appreciated. As we go into Submarine for map number 2 of our best of 7 grand final here. Again, thanks so much for tuning in today, everybody. It's so great to see so many people tuning in for the event. I mean, I know I've said this a lot lately because viewership is up, but like, it's actually fantastic to see. So thank you so much for all the support. Just keep on enjoying the games, and I'll keep on putting out the content for you guys. It's it really actually has just been crazy. Like, I know I say that a lot lately, but like, you know, it's hard to. I feel like I have to keep telling myself because it's hard to comprehend how good it's been as of late. Who are we missing? We are missing a Maddox. It's not my friend on NA, and that's probably why. Players are ready, so as soon as we've got our final caster in here, we'll kick this off and get this going. As we jump into game number 2 of our best of 7. Submarine gonna be our map. Wardy, why is there no Warcraft 3 Reforged poster behind me? Because I don't think they made a poster for Warcraft 3 Reforged at any of the BlizzCons, so like, it's kind of hard to buy a Warcraft 3 Reforged poster if they don't make one, you know? I was actually going to swap out some of my posters soon, but still waiting for that to... Still waiting for me to... I mean, I'm not really waiting for anything, I'm just being busy. It's kind of hard to do things when you're busy with casting StarCraft for 17 hours a day, you know? Turn my stream off. I have to go upload YouTube videos for the next 4 hours. Oh, yeah. Top left-hand side. Our Red Terran player. This is Kua. As in the bottom right-hand side, our Blue Terran is Uthermal. I mean, Blizzard did send me the press kit for Warcraft 3 Reforged, and it has a poster in it, but it's not the same size as... It's definitely not the same size as the posters in the background. So it takes some real, like, optical illusions. Maybe we'll try after this game. I'll give you guys... I'll try my best. As we do see our SCV making its way across the map. There's a racks coming down on either side. Gonna see Uthermal setting up that racks in the main then. And SCV's popping out. Gonna get mining again. Worker from Kua continues across. Game 2 of our best of 7. Nice that we've got to make the finals of best of 7. We actually used to do best of 9 finals in these series, and the fact of the matter is, we used to do like best of 7 semis and best of 9 finals to get some more maps played. I actually just really love this. Add an extra best of 5, like longer series, really, than best of 7 just feel a little bit silly sometimes. And best of 7 semifinals never felt great either for an online event, so I don't know about you guys. Do you guys like this format? You guys like the format that we ran for this tournament? Because definitely something new, definitely something a little bit interesting. Yeah, I was just trying to... I guess I'll tell the story of this quickly as we see Thermal going to be a little aggressive. I think he's going to go Starport before Expand. So, I guess I won't tell you the story, because the Starport before Expand is worth talking about. Because as the Starport drops down, it means that you're just going to be much more aggressive than Q is probably expecting you to be. Now, Thermal, he's basically going to keep building Reaper Hellions. So while you might usually stop at like 3-ish Reapers, 2 Hellions, he's going to keep going. And the Starport is probably, I'm going to say, build a Liberator, because it was pulled out of gas. So it's not like he has tons and tons of gas. So it's not like he's going to have the gas to go... I mean, I guess he could go like Cloak Banshee or anything, but you also want him to at some point stop this Hellion, and you're going to keep building Reapers too. So the Liberator seems like the most obvious choice, and it gets going the most quickly, so then you can come across the map with the Liberator. That's going to get in the main, and you might be like, well, okay, well, maybe Q is just paying attention. Well, maybe he is paying attention. But the issue is, if the Hellion Reaper at the front is dealing damage, you might be distracted, you might come down, and that's where the Liberator can do a lot. Especially right now, because there's going to be no anti-air for Q. He's actually going to go for a Raven here. So his anti-air is going to be an auto turret, and if he uses the auto turret defensively at the front, then he's going to have no anti-air at all to deal with the Liberator in the main base. So it looks very, very good as we do see the Hellions pushing the Reaper back. Up out into the center of the map. Command Center dropping down in the natural as we will see our units here from Thermal making their way out up the right-hand side. A couple extra Reapers coming through the middle. And this push from Thermal getting ready to go. So like I said, it's like it's like an extra Reaper or two than usual. And the Reaper count really does so well against Hellions. Thermal spreads up correctly going into this fight. This should go pretty well for him. And you can see he's just going to back away, not dive in completely for the moment. But there's the Liberator. And again, there's just no anti-air. Cyclone starts right now from Q, but that's about it. SCV's here as well. Thermal's going to try and get one or two of those. There's the Liberator. It is going to get auto-turreted, but that means no auto-turret in the natural expansion. And this Liberator just relocates. An auto-turret is not exactly a reliable way to deal with the Liberator, which can just unsiege and resiege. And that's a lot of lost mining for Q here. I actually kind of like that Thermal doesn't commit to the fight, because he just doesn't need to. Right? He's already got the units distracted. He's not doing anything by trying to commit to the fight here. He's going to resiege this Lib where the Marines can't realistically fight it. Denies mine time a little bit longer. Cyclone comes in. This time the Liberator dies. But again, so much mine time lost. I'll show you guys the income graph. Look at that big income lead for Thermal there. And it makes up a lot for this later command center. Though he is still down by 5 workers. So he will now, as this stabilizes, drop back down behind. Maybe that's the bigger issue than anything else here. The thing is, though, we're almost kind of reaching 2-base saturation from Q, so it's not like Q's economy gets too much better for too much longer. So Thermal's going to catch up on SCVs by nature of there's no point in Q building more SCVs until he has a 3rd base, right? Thermal will go back onto the map, so he still has the Reaper advantage. He's down 2 Hellions, but he's also up a Cyclone, which he might try and fight with. The Raven of Q does have an auto turret to use again. Q sends 1 Reaper across the map to see what's up. Let's see what happens as he comes in. He gets a couple lock-ons. Great Hellion position for Thermal. Gets a lot of splash damage from that. Pulls back. Gets a couple shots on Ravens. I mean, the Hellion position was really good. It's exactly where you wanted to go for Thermal. Unfortunately, it's still not really breaking through. So he loses out on those units. And you can just see he's losing a little bit more. And yeah, lost mine time is great. But again, eventually, Q is back in the lead on income. And still 45 to 41 workers will be a slightly faster that 3rd CC. Sorry, no, actually, Thermal slightly faster the 3rd CC as this Marine gets the Reaper kill. I mean, it's like an advantage here, an advantage there. It's very close overall, just a slight worker lead from Q. He's going to keep that worker lead building so he can start getting ready to saturate the 3rd base sooner rather than later as well. The Cyclones pull back away into the middle once again. Couple extra Vikings on the way out from Q. 2 engineering base setting up on the natural expansion as well, so setting up into that. Just gonna see these racks of Q setting up on the main base also. And Thermal will continue back through the middle of the map. Ravens, couple Cyclones. All of that getting ready to go. We do just see the couple tanks here will siege up and just continue to get building. Thermal just trying to take a position on the map as Cure sitting back defensively, building into stim. So will Thermal. As an auto turret of Cure comes in for some damage. Auto turret in the main base as well. He's hunting down those SCVs. He got them stuck in a corner. Yeah, they're just about going to escape. Hey, now they're stuck in a corner again though. Another auto turret available. These SCVs can't run forever. Oh, they kind of can. One auto turret expires. That's 9 workers killed, and Cure just building on a little bit of an advantage he's definitely had in these earlier stages. One more worker. Thermal will be the first out to a third base location, but well, he's going to do auto turrets for himself in the main. Actually, Cure lands the Vikings to press this back. And yeah, I mean, faster third base from Thermal, but I don't think Cure is going to be too afraid of moving out to his own third soon. He just has to get rid of these couple tanks, and again, with the Ravens having a lot of energy because he's got 3 of them, bringing one back home, it shouldn't be long until he can realistically just auto turret / matrix press out into this position and take his own third. So building up towards that as we do see the 2 Ravens here moving down the bottom left-hand side. He's just going to land the Vikings to try and take this fight. Here we go. Auto turret's going to drop down to soak the first couple shots. Next one as well. And it's going to be a pretty convincing breakout from Cure. Now, it still loses him a few of his Vikings. So he loses a little bit of air control that he's still building back up into. So he's still building some of the Vikings here as we go. With the army of Cure moving down towards the bottom right. Marines and tanks from Thermal trying to come up into the center as well. These couple of Ravens thinking about what they'd want to do as well. Vikings already firing, the Ravens taking some damage. The Marines back to the center. You do see the Viking able to attack the medevac. Interference matrix drops down. Tanks from Cure really trying to be quite aggressive here and pushing further forwards. He's able to get that shot, but he still costs him a siege tank, so it's a tank for a tank. Thermal a little bit behind on workers and a little behind on army supply. As he does start 2-2 just that little bit faster as well though, so that is already on the way. 2 more Vikings on the way up from Cure, more and more Marines pouring out here. A couple of Hellions morph into the Hellbats. There's a few Marines wanting to stim in for the Raven. Doesn't find it just yet. Tanks will siege up again as Marines and the Hellbats get picked off. Again, the rest of this army from Cure still moving into the middle of the map here. The Raven's going to press forwards and then drop down a couple of Matrixes. Here we go. Marines from the top side. The Vikings will get rid of the Ravens right away. It comes down to tank first tank. The Vikings will land. The Marines actually coming in from the flank from Thermal are able to clean up the tanks that were Matrix, but unfortunately there's still tanks remaining here and Cure's reinforcing. That will be GG. And our series, our grand finals, is tied 1-1. We are going to go into a quick 2-minute break, everybody. Don't go far. We'll be back very soon. More StarCraft is just on the other side of this set of ads. See you in 2. Game 3 of our finals as we kick this off. Thank you for your patience, guys. Sorry, I'll be a moment or two. Oh, Expert's doing this thing again. Give it a second, guys. One moment. There we go. There we go. Alrighty. As we kick into game 3 of the best of 7. Starting us off on the top right side is Thermal. Our blue Terran player here on Pillars of Gold. And on the bottom left-hand side, we do have our red Terran, Cure. Ranks from Cure will drop down in the main base here. Is just going to see a refinery coming up and a little bit of build-up here at the moment. Thermal will scout for the one gas expansion, and Cure will be the double gasser, so we're going to be seeing a similar setup to what we've seen before. Nothing too out of the ordinary, right? It's just more of the same. As this SCV gets up in towards the main and sees racks, again, sees the racks, right? And that's basically what you're mostly looking for. That is what you want to see. See that barracks, and once you see the racks, you know you're not being proxied, which is just perfect. We're all going to see a couple of workers pulling out of gas here as we've got the SCV of Cure chasing down the SCV of Thermal. Thermal's command center dropping down in the natural expansion as well. As you do just see the factory dropping into the main base, so setting this up. As you do see the scout attempt, just going to pull back, might just join up with the Reaper here and kind of sit out just so you can try and get the advantage in the Reaper on Reaper fight. Obviously as Thermal, again, you do not want to lose your Reaper super early, so you probably just keep that SCV. Even here, you just keep the SCV. You do not want to lose the fight in any way, shape, or form. Cure's going to hop up into the main. We'll go straight away for the SCV on the factory, and we'll get that kill, so it's a good start, as now an SCV will have to go replace that, and yeah, it's a little something that brings you back a little bit in the eco, which you are going to be a bit behind on because of your CC timing. Obviously, I mean, there's just the little things, right? You do an SCV scout, so that pulls you back a little bit, then you get an SCV kill, that pulls you back a little bit. As you do just see the Hellion coming through, picking away at the SCV. As you do see the Reaper from Cure still fighting, SCV goes down, so a couple of workers killed. And just going to be seen again, the two Hellions continue to be produced. As our Cyclone from Cure setting up on the factory starport building in the main base as well. Extra couple of Marines still coming into this, and again, two Hellions and the Reaper back out around into the center of the map. Again, that natural command center setting up. So you dudes just see the Banshee on the way here from Cure. So again, the Banshee up and running. You're going to see the factory moving away from the reactor. We'll drop down towards the tech lab. It's going to be Cyclone starting right next to the reactor. Just seeing the medevac, Cyclone, etc. all still coming out here for the moment, as we have a few units hanging around on this natural expansion. We do see Thermal will want to get active with these few Hellions. Pretty defensive Banshee from Cure. No cloak, just the cloakless Banshee, one of them, and go from that point on. Both of these players playing Cyclones at the moment as well, so we've got one on the side of the map of Cure. First about apart from Thermal, and again, obviously right now in this meta, it's always a watch for who's going to start up that Magfield Accelerator, perhaps. 4 Hellions will drop into the main, so that's how Thermal will try and deal some early damage. Now he sets up into the tech lab, so he'll get a Raven of his own, but supply blocked for a little while, waiting for that depot to finish. Units are in this main, and he gets locked onto, and he just backs away, decides now is not the moment. You could maybe get a few SCVs, but nothing too crazy, right? So I think he's rather wait and just keep these units alive. As there's the cloakless Banshee showing up, so the Cyclone should deal with this rather easily. Locks on, and Kira just flies on through to get 3-4 workers. I mean, it's really not bad at all, considering it's just one cloakless Banshee. Now the rest of this army coming out into the center, holding up this high ground ramp. A few more SCVs still producing. The Raven on the way from Thermal in the main base as well. A couple extra Marines popping, and there's our second gas on the natural expansion also. As you do see Thermal's Reaper making its way out over the left-hand side, and still seeing this Raven of Cure out over the right-hand side here as well. So just moving this around a bunch, getting this ready to go. Four Hellions still waiting to dive in towards the natural, as we have got the Raven. One making its way up to the main. Reaper is going to go and pick off a Marine. Cure just still watching for what's going on. Third CC's on the way out. Slightly different timings too. Cure overall just up to 7 workers, and with the 7 worker lead is just kind of sitting there with it. Again, Thermal's faster third will help him make up a bit of that, as we do see the double armory. So there's the mech versus the double engineer and Bay Bio. So back to what we saw in game 1, but this time I feel like Cure's had a bit of a better start. And is going to go into a bit of a better position to start this off as well. Cure with the scan ahead, just wanting to see where he can get to with these couple of siege tanks. There is absolutely siege potential on this main base, of course. I think that's what Cure is aiming for here initially, as we see this medevac going to go and drop some Hellions by into the natural expansion. So already a few of these workers dropping. 5 workers going down. I mean, this is the Hellion drop that just stayed alive earlier, and this is why. Look at this, comes in, nothing on the natural at all, and Cure loses 12 SCVs. As we see some auto turrets going to drop down in the main base, Cure still trying to press forwards in this position. He's going to set the rest of the auto turrets as well. Thermal Starport taking a lot of damage, but now he gets a Viking or 2 out. Pushes the Ravens away, killed workers across the map. Hellion's still in the main. If Thermal's paying attention, he could have done some more with that. He has boost, he will get back to the natural, and he will get maybe even again just a few more SCVs towards the end of this. He still has to worry about what's happening at the front though. His starport does survive, loses the reactor. And Thermal at some point just has to break out of this. And, well, I mean, I guess in the meantime, Q can take the third base. He's currently rebuilding SCVs. Thermal supply block 2 from the damage being done. 4 SCVs down, as we see 1 Hellion off to the left side, 1 Hellion down the bottom. A couple Vikings and a siege tank pushing out into the center of the map now, and those couple tanks firing. Still, this siege position so frustrating as Thermal. You can see the effect it's having on him. He's actually not being able to get his extra production up, so he's not spending any of his money. He's got so much in the bank, and it's because Q is stopping his production, and that's really painful to be losing the game because of that. It's such a small main. Where else are you meant to build the production? Like, here is maybe the best choice. I'm not even sure if that would have been safe. So yeah, Thermal kind of, just a lot of money in the bank because no production. That really hurts. Really hurts. It's going to be seeing a couple of extra tanks setting up in the front. Third CC of Cure dropping down. Maybe some more SCVs and mules to come in there. Finally getting that position as Thermal will take his own third, but Cure is still the one on the map. Remember that this is bio, this is stim done. No combat shields yet, but it is going to be tough for Thermal to push out into that spot because, again, even his siege tank count's not that crazy, right? 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, if they're all in one place, they're very scary, but if you start spreading out to try and push towards the third, it's a bit of a different scenario. So Thermal is realizing his issue, and Q in the end is coming out with a supply lead on all of this. +1 vehicle plating and weapons finishing, giving Thermal a set of upgrades for himself here as well now. Vikings and a Raven pushing forwards. Actually, you're going to see that same set of army on the right side as Thermal will kill off a couple tanks, so he will get his access towards the third. Interested to see what these Vikings and Raven want to do from Cure. I mean, there's missile turrets here, and I don't think whatever he wants to do is going to work. I think he wanted to land the Vikings and auto turret the main. It's not a play which works all the time, but if it does work, it can do pretty well, actually. You'd be surprised. I remember seeing Q, I think it was Cure did it against like Maru, or Special did it after Cure did it, and it was like, this was like 3 months ago or something. Maybe even a little bit longer, but it's something that every now and then you do, and it's such a weird, wacky play that it can kind of work out. It's going to see 2 Matrixes to start this off. Spread of Marines, and some more Marines going to go far left-hand side. Still a couple tanks remaining to get through here as Thermal's army count is going to be really tested. And Cure, he's not quite going to break through, but he might kill the CC. Viking shots are going to be pretty deadly here. The SCV repair is just not enough. Thermal loses a third base now, loses Vikings, which try to come up to save it and soak some shots. And Uthermal is a 2-base mech all in right now as Liberator siege up on Cua's base. So he will start to stop some of this mining and economy. So that's a positive at least. So Uthermal could, again, if you get across the map and you're able to counterattack just a little bit, that can do okay. As you see, Kua right now is just trying to break down what he can. Trying to fight wherever there isn't siege tanks or too many siege tanks, basically. Because the more he trades out with at the moment, the more likely he is to win the game, because Uthermal will struggle to rebuild, and that's exactly what is happening. He gets all the siege tanks pretty much, the 2 in the main and the few on the low ground. And Kua just multi-pronging it real well right now to take the lead for the first time in this grand final. GG call by Uthermal as Kua will take game 3 of this best of 7. And that will be that. Is my audio going weird, guys? I feel like I'm hearing myself weird in my headphones. I don't know if that's coming out on stream for you guys too. Yeah, I just don't know. Like, everything on my PC is just breaking today. I think I'm just going to accept it. Today is the day where everything just dies, okay? I get it. It's just not meant to be my day. Whatever. Map number 4 will be Imposter as Kua goes up onto a 2-1 lead. Remember, it's a best of 7, so it's not match point yet. As Imposter 4, map number 4. Audio's fine. It's just in my headphones. That's so weird. Have to look into that later. Turtles with the complain about base rate TV redemption. Yeah, people don't seem to get this. People seem to think that by redeeming that, I'm going to complain about base rate. But, like, it's actually your free pass to complain about base rate. And then you pass it over to me. What if I'm just feeling nice today? What if I'm just not? What if I'm just feeling nice today and I don't want to hate on base rate TV? What if we just want to be like, yeah, base rate TV is cool. You know, that stream is really nice. Tuned into some ESLNA last night. I was able to watch the games in complete peace and quiet. You can't get that experience on any other stream. As we just get ready to jump into game number 4 of our best of 7. Go goes from the players. Let's kick this off and get this going. What's the base rate drama? There isn't any. We're just friends that like to, you know, everyone thinks we're enemies, so we hate on each other because people think it's a good meme and they give us money to do it, and so we just exploit that to take your money. Wait, did I just tell you our secret? Shit! Oh, but we've got some really good TVT though, guys. Let's go on game expert. Don't do this to me. Let's get people distracted. They won't remember. All right, game number 4. In the bottom right, down a map. This is gonna be our red Terran, Uthermal. And in the top left, our blue Terran player is Kua. In game 4 of this best of 7 series. What's up, Sync SC2? Hey man, you've been killing it lately. Keep it up and enjoy Epic LAN this weekend. Thanks so much. I will enjoy Epic LAN. I will no longer, however, if anyone was wondering, if anyone is actually looking to try and talk to me at Epic LAN, I will not be at I will not be at Epic LAN for the full weekend. Some things come up. So I will only be at Epic LAN probably Thursday and Friday. Still waiting to figure out exactly. But probably Thursday and Friday only. I have to go home Friday night, I think. As we do see, the workers in the early stages have both built up second gases, so we're going to see double gas play on either side. I think the big thing here is watching to see if Uthermal is going to stay on gas a lot more than Kua is. You can already see 3 workers on each compared to 2 workers on each in the top left, and now 1 and 2. Now Uthermal pulls out, but again, it feels as though it's going to be that starport before the expansion here. Interesting. All factory dropping down, SCVs going up against each other. We'll just come in and clean up that SCV, so Thermal will continue onto the map. The SCV denial is very important because you do want to try, and obviously if the starport does come up early, you want to try and hide that. So just going to be seeing Hellions, Reapers on the way up. Is he going to build a starport? He's got the gas to build a starport, right? So it's absolutely a possibility, but it looks like he will just expand first anyways. Maybe because of the SCV scene that he's mining a bit more gas, and now he's just trying to play the little bit of a mind game almost. Or it doesn't feel as though the starport would do as much. Reaper and the two Hellions, or two Reapers and the Hellion coming back home from Thermal, and the starport does come up, so it will still be faster because he has extra gas already, so it's still faster, just it's not delaying the CC as much for it. I mean, it still delays a bit because he didn't pull out of gas as much, so you still don't mine as many minerals. As Reaper and Hellion going through the middle, and it's also only 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions, so not a continued production there. As Thermal brings this up to the top side of the map. As it comes straight in here, and Thermal actually just has the better numbers. Is going to get a couple Reapers, is going to get the Hellion. That's the danger of trying to build this Cyclone, because you've got to build a Tech Lab and then the Cyclone, which takes a little while. And right now, that Cyclone's taking some pretty serious damage. SCVs will start to drop. I mean, these units now getting cornered a little bit. Cyclone will just not go down. Saved at the end there. Now, obviously, gets repaired. Good cleanup. And again, not really many SCVs lost from Cure either, which is quite important as well. So that's nicely done, as we do see the Cyclone of Thermal now finishing up, and it looks like Thermal will continue Cyclone production. Cure made way in the tech lab for the starport to allow the Raven production to begin. As you do just see the few Marines coming up on the natural, Banshee setting up in the main, 3rd CC starting, and the supply depot coming out over to the left-hand side. Macfield again coming up here from Thermal. As you see the supply depot coming into the top left-hand side, top right-hand side. And we're just going to be seeing our Raven from QS setting up in the natural as well, so really just waiting. There's the Macfield again, just going to be the real talking point, I think, of TVTs over the next week or two. It'll be interesting going into Katowice to see if this makes a prominent showing. If we get a lot of TVT there. Katowice historically has had some amazing TVTs. Never forget 2017 TUI versus when Alive went crazy. Alive, TUI, INnoVation, they played some ridiculous TVTs that event. As we have got our Banshee continuing up to the top then. And the two Cyclones moving out the natural. Still just going to be seeing this army of Cure moving into the middle of the map. So army of Cure coming down through the center. Almost Banshee again locked onto right away. I mean, it is just this cloakless Banshee, so it's not super crazy looking to deal damage, and doesn't do anything at all. So it does nothing compared to what we saw Cure's cloakless Banshee do in a game or so ago, which gave him that initial big lead, as we do have the rest of this pressing forwards. A little bit of Cyclone coming on. And we have our siege tank setting up, CC on the 3rd base. And just going to be seeing Marines and tanks through the center of the map. Couple of Ravens setting up, and have we seen the Cyclones from Thermal coming around the right-hand side. So again, getting that ready to go, as we still see Cure coming down through the bottom. Couple of Cyclones locking on, siege tanks didn't get killed. And Cure just pushing here, and doesn't really have like a huge advantage, I would say, but he is going to get on top of that 3rd base and push Thermal off of it. The position here is obviously now going to be quite nice, as we do have the Orbital taking a little bit more damage. And just going to be seeing that Orbital having to lift up here. So a few SCVs down. I mean, Cure just later on the 3rd base, so this denial is really quite nice, as Thermal is again going to be playing mech. 2 extra factories have dropped down. As he's pushing, I don't think I really like this push forwards. I'm sieging the tank. I mean, it just feels like he's trying to do something which Doesn't have much potential. At the same time, the Ravens went in the main. Like, if the Ravens were over there, they could have gotten a lot done as well. I'm actually going to say I don't like the auto turret positioning either. I think he was trying to chase the Cyclone, but it also feels like these Ravens maybe could have just done more. As now, coming across the map, Thermal has a numbers advantage. So as he locks on, a couple tank shots are good. Extra Vikings landing, but as they get locked onto, the smack field makes really short work of them. So Kira is kind of defending the third base, but really only just. As we're going to be seeing the rest of the units coming back down the bottom right. Couple of Ravens coming through. Auto turrets will drop down, and again, still being a frustration here. Kira's ended up ahead on workers against Thermal. Again, we're going to see that kind of bio versus mech dynamic here. Still going to be seeing our Hellions coming out up the right-hand side, and again, 1-1 upgrade, Stimpak coming through, Infernal Pre-Igniter starting up as well. And I'm just going to be seeing the rest of these Hellions coming all the way back around to move on in towards the natural expansion. Look for a few of these SCVs. Tank fire is good, and a few of these workers already dropping as 4 workers go down. 5, 6. Maybe seeing 7, 8, and 9 dropping down. And there's a little bit more bio comes through here. The rest of these Hellions going to get picked off as well. Ten workers killed. As you do see the Raven just hanging out to the right. So it's a nice little run by Thermal, getting some damage of his own. 61 works on each side of this map. 42 army supply. Again, as a mech play, you kind of don't mind being even, right? So it's definitely down to Kira to maybe be a bit more worried about this scenario, but don't think it's so bad for him that he's got to start worrying just yet or do, start doing anything too crazy. Thermal only has a couple tanks and he's pretty spread out with them, so there's definitely opportunities for Kira to maybe attack as well. We shall see very soon. And as we do have our tanks going to be able to pick off a Hellion already. The army of Kira still moving down this right side. First Cyclone gets picked off. Tanks will siege, and the Ravens actually, the Cyclones did a lot of damage with the lock-ons they got. And Skewer will, he's going to be in location for a few moments, but not really that long, and now he's going to have to try and stand and fight. As he's going to get cleaned up, the Cyclones coming through will get the kills. The Raven should be chaseable and killable. No, the Vikings are too slow. The Medivacs get away at least. Is now a bit more bio going to stim forwards here, and Thermal for a moment looked in trouble, but then he sieges the tanks, and then you can't keep on moving in as Kira. Big thing here is definitely going to be upgrades as Kira goes in towards 1-1 completions, 2-2 already starting. And I was just going to see the rest of these tanks, etc. sieging. Maybe seen a few Vikings over to the far right side, and still Kira just coming down the bottom. See a little bit more of what's going on. As the bio again ready to go, Hallion's going to run by in towards this mineral line, so a few extra SCVs are dropping as well. 11 workers killed. I mean, it's the second time we've seen just Thermal being in a bit of trouble, and then just a Hellion run by brings him back in that worker count a little bit. Hellions moving up to the top side. Not going to try and run by here or there. A few units kind of in position, but even still it's just not the damage fast enough to clean this up. So some of these Hellions still get by, and obviously only 2 doesn't do as much as quickly. Planting Fortress not ready yet. Secure still dropping in the work account. One of the big things that Kira will aim to do now is just keep Thermal off of 4th base, because the 4 bases is where this mech play is going to get really powerful, extra gases available, etc. So should just be looking to try and keep this off of 4th base as much as possible here. Did you see our Hellions moving back around over to the right? A few Medivacs in the center. As did you see our Medivacs again coming back around. The bit of bio still moving around a little bit as well. Hellions on the left, or in the center. Coming through, Sensor Tower will set up from Kira, and we do see the, again, scan here, scan there. Tanks will on siege in the army of Thermal. Gonna go moving through into the center of the map. Hellbats and tanks. Looks, Hellbats, okay, might actually be the stupidest unit I thought I was done laughing at acceleration zones, but Hellbats are so stupid. Have you ever seen a mech army try and get in position so quickly? Unfortunately, this is the big negative of this map, where the Bio Concave will still just do well. Because you're pushing through a choke point, so you're still pushing into the Concave there, as we're going to be seeing Q with a good defense, and that's a lot of units lost from Uthermal. About to get one more upgrades at least finally, so making a little bit of a closure on the distance between the two in terms of upgrades. And we're just going to be seeing Q. He's trying to find a way. I mean, you can see Uthermal. If Q goes too far down the line, it's so ridiculous watching the mech army run through the middle of the map. It's just all of a sudden this mech army's like, oh, by the way, we've been waiting all our life to move this quickly, and it just runs up and sieges. Oh, I think that might be the absolute highlight of the acceleration zones. Just watching it run up, siege, and be like, here I am. Oh my god, brilliant. All right. Game settles down a little bit as we do see Q has held off multiple of these fights so far. Uthermal taking the opportunity to make their way to the 4th base, and with the 4th base up, obviously changes the pacing of the game a little bit as well. As you see a few more Hellions out around the left-hand side, going to go in for some of these SCVs. So the 4 workers killed off already. Marine and Marauder coming in. The couple Hellions going to get killed here as well. As we do see our, again, shutdown happening. Q has a lot of Vikings, and now he's building Liberators soon. Because of that, Uthermal has to build Thors, because if he doesn't build the Thors, he's going to put himself in a position where he can't fight the air army. Then the Liberators are just going to control the entire map, and he's going to get pushed back siege tank line after siege tank line. So that's not going to look pretty either. So that's where we're at right now. As we do see our few extra Vikings on the way up. A couple more Marines, 3 upgrades, plus 2 ship weapons. All the good stuff right now as we have our army into the front of the 3rd base. Our Bio army defends. And I like what Q has done. He's really sharpened up a bit his defense against these Hellions. He's stopped taking as much damage from them. And it's a game where you lost 46 workers throughout. And you might not think it, but it really has had an impact here and there. As he's been mining a lot more throughout as they've traded evenly. So, again, Q looking good. He's about to max out. Remember, he's only getting into a better spot as his Liberators and Viking count gets into a really competitive number. 17 Vikings and 4 Libs against 5 Vikings and 4 Thors. And that's going to be the big difference between the two of them here in the upcoming battles, as we do now see Hellions running their way in towards the upper side base. And now we're going to see this army of Q coming down as well, looking to try and chase those few Hellions away. And they will be chased away for the moment. 2 more Libs on the way up. Our army from Q back into the center of the map, and Uthermal will have to try deal with this. But now Kira's turn to get into position as the Libs get seized. The Vikings coming in. I mean, the Viking count from Kira is really good. So the Viking count here should do great. One of the Thors already going down, as the Liberators should just zone the rest of this as well. So Kira should be able to get onto this base. I mean, the Thors pushing forwards into this are going to have a bit of trouble. There's just so many Liberators. And you can see the Thors taking a lot of damage. Biggest issue is the fact that Bio wasn't here to support it. Otherwise, those Thors might not have been able to clean up as easily. So 5 more Libs in production, more Thors on the way from Uthermal. The problem is, more Thors you make, the more susceptible your army becomes to the entire Bio army. So we're just going to be seeing the rest of this coming back. The tanks firing away. Uthermal still sitting around in the center here as we see the army of Q trying to come back around. Uthermal still just has been in trouble a long time, and right now going to see Lib sieging up. I think we're just going to see this fight committed to. He's just going to leave it to the Liberators for a little while. The Thors are struggling to get in range, and that's the biggest issue. The Liberators will just continue to kill, and there's a couple Libs left, a couple of Thors remaining. Actually, he's going to get maybe one more. He's actually just going for the siege tanks. So the Bio could maybe come in. There's a few siege tanks still, as going to be seeing the rest of this moving around. Also, the Thors back down the right. the Bio Army into the center here. As we're going to see it coming again down towards the bottom. Thermal, having some issues, is unable to make his way into a continued defense, and now there's a completely open left-hand side base, so Hero just comes in over here, and Thermal types GG. Hero just has a bit too much, it's a bit too all over the place, and Kira goes up onto match point. So match point to Kira, and guys, we are going to take just 2 minutes to go back into a break, and when we come back, it could be our last map of the TLMC tournament number 6.
Every night I wish for it in my soul. Tell me if you know how to follow. Your dreams, baby.
Thermal needs to win a couple in a row to win this series out now. I mean, a couple needs to win 3 in a row to win this series out. My XSplit just continues to have issues. I don't know what's wrong with it today. Usually it just fixes when you reset it. I don't want to reset it midstream, obviously. I know I've been saying this all day long. I should have just reset it earlier, but I didn't. So, I'm sorry. I mean, it's only frustrating on my end because I see I'm trying to change the scene. It doesn't change, right? You guys still see the games and stuff, right? So, just a little annoying. Thank you so much, Chilwin Jedi, for the 26-month resub. Says, thanks for casting these wonderful games, Mr. Ward. Thank you so much for the support. Ethan will still BRB. Couple things to mention. First of all, if you're sitting on a Twitch Prime sub or you've got $5 you can spare, subscribing one of the best ways to support the channel. We are looking to run a big tournament in March and April, and every single subscription we are putting $1 of towards that tournament. So we're hoping to run, a $5,000 event. Just so you guys are aware. That's going to be coming up in March and April. If you want to support that, subscribing, best way to do it right now. Helps me stay full-time in casting, and obviously if you've got a Twitch Prime, it's free, it's simple, you just click a couple buttons and you're good to go. Outside of that, if you're enjoying the stream and would like to see more, hit that follow button and so on. And the other thing I was going to say is... check out our sponsors. Movement. We make some fantastic watches. These are one of the new watches they've just released yesterday or the day before. So you guys can check them out. An exclamation mark Movement in the chat. They're really pretty watches. Lots of really nice products. Lots of different styles, male and female. And there's also stuff like, they do other accessories too. They do glasses, they do jewelry, they do wristbands, etc. I'd say absolutely worth checking out. Really nice watches. Yeah, this is one of the new ones that they've just released, like I mentioned. And there's more being released in the future as well as players already, obviously. But yeah, there's so many different styles, etc. Helps if I put it on the right way. There you go. So yeah, lots of nice stars. It doesn't stick out like that. I've just put it on quickly because this game's about to start. Thermal Cure Game 4 coming up. Thank you so much, Sword SC2, for the 100 bits. Says, thanks for all your hard work and the great games. Thank you so much. I'm Too Spooky 5U for the Twitch Prime for 2 months as well. And Noosta, the Twitch Prime also. And guys, we're actually only 1 sub or 100 bits away from a little hype train. If you want to show some love, get some hype roll in the chat. It'd be awesome. If not, fear not. I'll just cast the games for you anyways. You have this one in grey. I really like that style. I think it's my favorite style of the watches at the moment. There's a few styles I like, but I think that might be my favorite. I've got a couple in that style as well. Just waiting for this. Well, I was just telling you how XSplit was still going to let you guys watch the games. Now it's not. XSplit, switch to the in-game overlay. Please. Thank you so much, Nova Swing, for the Twitch Prime sub. Guys, I literally can't get XSplit to swap overlays. Why? What is going on? Why are you lagging so much, XSplit? Like, what's happening? Ugh. Oh, guys, nothing's going on in the game. Give me a second. This is the worst it's been all day. Hey, thank you, Nova Swing, for that Twitch Prime as I stress out over XSplit actually changing the overlays. Will you get replay packs in the March and April tourneys? Yeah, of course. If you're still subscribed, then we do replay packs based on if you're subscribed. When they come out, you get them, and you get access to all past replay packs. My XSplit's actually been super bad right now. There we go. Guys, I'm so sorry. I just don't know what's going on with it. I've been trying to load it up for half a minute here. It's just, like I said, like last couple of games, it's just one of those things. Next time, I'll absolutely just do a reset. I didn't think it was going to be this much of an issue. I think it would just sort itself out after a little while. Did I check my task manager to see if something weird is running? I didn't. It's literally only XSplit. And my mouse is being a bit weird as well, but yeah. Oh, no. Now I've opened task manager, my mouse has gone to shit. God damn it. I just went to double check and... Alright, we'll kick this off then, guys, as we have got in the top right Thermal, in the bottom left Cure. And look at them both going one gas expand here for what could be our last map of the TLMC event. As we get this up and running. Thank you so much, Divinasia TV, for the 54 bits. Not good for the 73 bits. And My Kill Angelo coming in with the 2 months Twitch Prime resub as well, saying keep it going. Got that hype train start, guys. 3 minutes to fill her up. I need a couple more subs to get there. You guys can do it. Come on, let's get some emotes for everyone. As we do move it around. Yeah, I don't know like what's going on. Again, I'm just gonna do a PC reset after, and who knows, basically. Who knows? As we do have this game setting up, Reaper goes down here for Thermal before it does for Cure. So Cure gets the Reaper kill early. He got an SCV, so he got 2 SCVs for 1 SCV and a Reaper, which isn't bad, of course. As Thermal will continue to set up defensively. There's 2 Reapers here from Cure, despite the fast expand, and that's going to be really bad for Thermal. You can see the CC's already going to get delayed as well, so that's delayed pretty much right away here. A couple of extra Hellions going to be coming up. The Hellions are obviously the defense of this, as the Reapers didn't dive in. They know the Hellions are on the way. They probably could have gotten like a couple extra SCVs though, so Cure's kind of being very safe about it. It's kind of cost him some opportunity, as now these Hellions still taking damage though. Now there's going to be a Hellion and a Reaper versus just a Hellion. And Cure's still just going to back away, not going to dive in too far, not going to do anything too crazy. And as we do have Thermal landing back down over to the natural expansion. Liberator, a couple more Hellions building up. A Cloakless Banshee from Cure again, so just setting that up to help in the early stages. Really nice against like a bigger Hellion attack. It really does well to shut those sort of attacks down, so that's something we could be seeing in all of this. And as we do just have, again, setting up. Hey, thank you so much, Deji Enigma, coming in with the Twitch Prime sub for 3 months. Says hooray, and thanks for all the StarCraft 2 in the last 2 months. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Much appreciated. As the Liberator going to be finishing up, and as the Liberator gets finished up, we're going to see these few Hellions also making their way down the right-hand side. Liberator from Thermal going to start moving across the map, and just seeing again Hellions, Cyclone, Reaper. Oh, well, a few bits and pieces. Just kind of hanging around on the natural. Nothing too crazy. Hey, thank you so much, Haramuse, as well, for the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome to the Wardy family. Liberator will come in and siege up, but the Cyclone's already locked onto it, which sort of doesn't bode well, as Thermal is going to win out the fight in the front, though, so he's going to start getting a few workers killed. The Cloakless Banshee across the map, there's no answer to it, however, as now a couple of Marines and a Cyclone come into defense, so it's equal workers across the maps. I just think as Thermal, you're losing so much of your army to do this, and you still don't have any proper anti-air coming out. A couple of Marines here. I mean, if this Banshee had a cloak, then it would be even better. Obviously, it does not, and that's one of the things we've been talking about. As we do see a couple more Marines going down, the rest of these SCVs. Actually, oh my god, the Banshee survives on 2 HP. Couple more kills before the Cyclone gets the lock on. And Thermal's worker count down 27 to the 36. Damn. That's kind of crazy as this Hellion is going to try and zoom through heroes across the map with a Raven and a Cyclone, and he's looking to try and deal some more damage. You can drop an auto turret down here, and that's exactly what he will do to push some of the units back. The Cyclone looking for that lock on. Kua gets it. And now this Cyclone taking a bit of hits, but the repair should be good, and it's just the SCV still dropping down to the auto turret here. Kua goes up by 12 workers already. Looking real good right now. Looking really, really good right now. As the rest of this from Kua pulls back away down the bottom left, we're going to be seeing a CC starting up on the third base location, so gets that up and ready to go. And just seeing a little bit more from Thermal. We're going to try and come across another Liberator to try and harass, but again, if you don't do anything with this Liberator, you're going to be immediately in some trouble. So let's see what it can do, as Kua's third base is well on its way to being done. There's Cyclones to deal with a Liberator as well, right? So the Lib is not instantly going to be looking hopeful here, even just moving in initially, as we see it hanging out to the far left-hand side. The Marine and the Cyclone from Thermal coming down the right side. Scans up in toward the main base, and again, the Lib here from Thermal thinking about where it might want to try and siege up as well. Tank will siege, Stimpack still coming through. Viking on the way out, and again, a couple of extra racks will finish up to give Kua a little bit of extra production here now. Thermal 3rd CC building in the natural expansion is not really shown as mech or bio yet. Could realistically be a bit of anything still from him. He still has a racks on a tech lab, and just going into a decent Viking count initially. As you see this Cyclone backing away. The longer you don't start stim, the more likely this is going to be mech. Otherwise, the further behind you're going to be in bio upgrades, which is always scary as well. Falling behind in bio upgrades. You know, taking fights with no stim versus stim is never fun. This is another unit that Thermal is just going to lose out on. Actually, it's a unit for a unit at least. Okay. Of course, even trades right now are great for Kua. He's binding so much more. He's going to have so many more units. Thermal coming out onto the map, and he puts the 3rd CC in position. He is still building SCVs, but it feels like so much of this from Thermal is really reliant on getting some damage done here. Wow, Kua is really aggressive. As he gets a lock on, picks up a kill there. Some extra auto turrets dropping down, hits some matrixes as well. Going to land the Vikings to fight this in the middle of the map. Thermal's Vikings are going to land as well, as Kua still doesn't have Stimpack yet in all of this, and lands one more Viking. It looks as though he will play cleanup, and Thermal just loses maybe a bit too much. He does strike with the Liberator at the same time, which gets 5 kills before being chased, and well, the Vikings will make short work of it in the end. So Liberator gets taken down, and Thermal will type GG. He is a bit too far behind to recover, and Kua is your WardiTV Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament Champion, taking home an $1,100 first place prize. GG's, and well played. Congrats to Kua. He really played a fantastic tournament, honestly. You know, in the group stages, he only lost INnoVation. He made up for that in the playoffs, and then, you know, played a good series against Rogue in the playoffs as well. And then a really good TVT at the end here against Thermal. Alrighty, so Kua is your champion, and he will be walking away with the title. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. This tournament has been, once again, a massive success, which I feel like I'm just saying about everything I cast lately. But a massive success, great viewership. It's really awesome for me that this event does well, because it's one that obviously, you know, Blizzard and Team Liquid, you know, hire me for. They choose me to run this event, which is a privilege in itself, but then to be able to put on a show that people will want to watch, and which really, I think, does a great job showing off the maps, and I think the new format really killed it here as well. I think we saw the maps in this event more than we saw the maps ever before. 142 maps played. In comparison to the last map contest, I believe, was 133 maps played. So really, I think the format worked out. 131 maps played last time. Yeah, really just awesome, I think, altogether. I love the format. I thought it was fun. I would definitely do a bit differently about EU versus Korea in the finals and stuff. We'll do it a bit differently next time, I think. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. It's been so much fun. It's been a lot of games. It's been good games. I hope you guys have had a good time. I'm going to be back tomorrow. We've got WardiTV Team League. We're going to do Team Liquid versus Fantastic Five, including Raynor, Tasia, Alazer, Euthermal, and more. So that's going to be happening tomorrow evening. I don't know a start time yet. I still have to decide. But that will be tomorrow evening stream. I'll not be on in the day. I have to go to the doctors and some other stuff. And then Wednesday, probably going to do a day off on Wednesday and record some YouTube content. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be doing the Kung Fu Cup. And then Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday, I'm at Epic Land. And then I am Katowice streams the week after, obviously not on this channel. Guys, I will see you all later. Thanks so much for dropping by today. And I'll see you all tomorrow for the WardiTV Team League Season 9. I'm going to be running a set of ads on the outro. Sit through that. Helps us out a whole bunch. If you got a last-minute sub to drop, feel free to show us some final love. As Arius, thank you so much for the 53-month resub as well, dude. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next stream. Set of ads. We're going to host somebody up to spread that StarCraft love in 3 minutes' time. So stick around, spread that StarCraft love. If my XSplit turns off, I mean, God knows what it's going to do. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It's been a great day. Hope you enjoyed. Congrats to Kua. I'll see you guys next time. This is what happens when my XSplit doesn't want to go to... my XSplit doesn't want to go to break, guys. XSplit really was about to die. It's a good thing this wasn't a longer stream, huh? You know, I'm going to start running the ads. The stream's over. I'm going to start running the ads. Just XSplit doesn't want to believe it. I will Alt F4 you, XSplit, if you are not going to do this. XSplit, why you got a meme on me? It ain't fun for anybody. No, really. Oh, there it is! Hooray! Oh my god, all the spam clicks didn't help.